Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm Evelyn Shorty, and I'm going to review Survival today, also Survive. And this is one that I was planning on recording yesterday. I always like to record them a day before I put them out, but yesterday was just a day for me. Some stuff been going on, and I just wasn't in the mood for doing anything other than the absolute bare minimum. I made the laziest tea when I got home last night. But, fresh day, fresh start. Let's talk about a comic book that I thought was, at best, kind of cool. It sounds like I'm going to absolutely dunk on Survive, but when I first opened it up, the artwork just didn't work for me. And it's not to say it's technically incompetent or terrible or doesn't portray what it needs to. It just looked soft, including the line work and the colouring. There's something about it which just had me feeling like whoever did this was just doing a kind of wishy-washy, let's get this job done, but still weirdly putting in kind of a lot of detail which felt like it was unnecessary. There's a lot of cross-hatching and shading going on in there. And there's lots of variation to the colour, but it all looks just weak. And none of it jumped out the page at me, including when we got to the acquisition sequences. We got a little bit more depth to the colour there because we're in the actual submarine, which is comic books about. We got some nice reds of the fire and the deep blues of the ocean and much better use of shadow. And it was better artwork, and it did capture a little bit more of the panic that was going on. But honestly, I'd kind of already been soured to it. Those first few pages just didn't do anything for me positive, and as a result I was always just like, well, at least it's better than that. And that's not a great way to be thinking about artwork, and it did kind of spoil it for me. There's also the story, which I feel like it could have got me a little bit more involved. Because one of my favourite movies of all time is The Martian. I like it so much. My girlfriend bought me Rich Purnell as a Steel-Haired Missile Man t-shirt for Christmas a few years ago. Like, I am deep into that kind of idea of lone survivor, not sure how they're going to get through, and figuring out all the stuff to basically keep going. I like that kind of thing. But this one feels more like a war story with a whole bunch of those elements in there, and war stories are not my thing. I occasionally will talk about some that haven't worked for me, but they're usually ones where they're mostly critiquing the ideas of war and how masculinity plays within that sphere. For instance, Starship Troopers, fantastic movie. 20th Century Men, fantastic comic book. But for the most part, I can just take or leave it, and for the most part, I'd rather leave it. And because the framing of this one on a military submarine, because, you know, that's kind of what submarines are there for, we have this idea that there's betrayers and people working within the system against the system, and it's on a military convoy mission. It just feels far more that rote kind of idea, which doesn't do anything for me. Also, the main characters we have, I just didn't get much from them at all. That opening sequence I was talking about, in terms of the kind of soft, pallid-coloured lighting, really ineffectual artwork, that was supposed to be setting up who this guy is that we're going to be caring about for quite a while in this story. And honestly, he came across as kind of one-dimensional. He's a guy who works for the military. He has a wife and a kid, and his wife is unhappy that he has to go to the military. And you can't even tell what he's doing because it's the military. And it just feels like, yeah, this is every other story about this kind of thing. There's nothing nuanced to this at all. But then we jump into the action, and it genuinely took me a few pages. It's like, oh wait, this isn't the same guy. This is some other dude in this submarine that we're now kind of having to pay attention to. Is it right? Right? This is a different guy. Who is this guy? Why do I care about this guy? All he's talking about is the odds of survival in a submarine sinking. And I'm just like, well, okay, but who are you? Why are you this person I'm now paying attention to? Is it literally just we needed another survivor for there to be some kind of conflict between these two main characters? And now this is the dude that we've been chosen? And I stopped caring very quickly, is basically what I'm saying. Not to say I didn't enjoy some bits about the comic book. Like I say, the artwork did get better throughout it. Some of the sequences where he makes terrible choices were pretty well done. But the thing I enjoyed the most was the stuff at the end, because bad idea, do charge you like $6 or £5, whatever you British comic book store is going to charge you for it. So they give you some extra stuff at the back end, and there's a very cool little superhero-esque story at the back, which I really quite enjoyed. And then a teaser for the Save Now comic that they're doing later, which looks really cool, really intriguing idea, again, of how certain superpowers would work. And I was like, oh man, these look really good. Like, I want to read more of this. I want to read more of this superhero universe that was just a, I don't know, 10-page throwaway joke comic. I wanted to read more about that. It reminded me more of Minor Threats, which is a comic book I absolutely adore. And the Save Now thing looks brilliant. I'm totally going to be taking a look at that one. But this one, no, I didn't go with high expectations, and by the time I was finished with it, it was very easy just to put it back in a plastic sleeve, put it back on the spinner, and kind of stop thinking about it. That's it for me for now, though. Until I see you all again, look after you, everyone. Stay safe. Bye!